For those of you that are still in the dark, Sweet Baby Inc. is a consultancy firm that simply exists to make sure that your product is up to DEI standards. And if it so happens that your product is not up to DEI standards, they basically go on Twitter, call you all types of phobes and isms and sexists, and try to ruin your reputation. So you see, what happened recently is that a certain somebody who was doing the Lord's work, in my opinion, created a Steam group simply to let people know the types of products that Sweet Baby Inc. has been in bed with. And Sweet Baby Inc. didn't take too kindly to that and basically issued targeted harassment at that individual to try and get them banned off Steam and get their library completely cancelled and all of that stuff, which didn't work, which instead simply activated the Streisand effect and the curator tool to determine the types of products that Sweet Baby Inc. is in bed with has now over 100,000 users.
All that happened was that someone decided to have a Steam group just to let people know the different video games that Sweet Baby Inc. is actually involved in. And in the course of a couple days, this went from 6,000 followers to now it's closing in on 200,000 followers, because when you try to censor people, when you try to tell people you're not allowed to criticize us, you're not allowed to simply list the games that we're involved in because we're scared, it's not going to go over well. And it has not gone well for Sweet Baby Inc. And every day we discover something different.
And even more alarming, it has been discovered that the CEO of Sweet Baby Inc., Kim Belair, has made some rather unpalatable, damning statements in the past in regards to what her company does.
The co-founder of Sweet Baby Inc., Kim Belair, proudly explains the method she uses to force bosses at game studios to censor, alter, and diversify game projects she feels are problematic.
If you're a creative working in AAA, which I did for many, many years, put this stuff up to your higher-ups, and if they don't see the value in what you're asking for when you ask for consultants, when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want.
If you don't give us what we want, if you don't capitulate to our demands to put a trans black lesbian in a fucking wheelchair in this random video game where it doesn't belong at all, well, we're going to make sure we call you racist and sexist and transphobic and all these things. What playbook is that out of? Man, it sure seems like it's right out of Anita Sarkeesian's playbook, doesn't it? Mamology 101. He's not the only one that tweeted this today. I've seen this a lot. Friendly reminder that Sweet Baby Inc. isn't the only entity threatening developers and extorting them into getting hired. This is from 2019. Anita Sarkeesian. Hey, at CD Projekt Red, I'm always available for consulting because it sure sounds like you might need it before the holy internet drags you for what sounds like some potentially sexist representations, which we all know you've struggled with in the past.
So then you might be asking yourself, what is so wrong with someone going on Twitter and slandering and dragging your name through the mud? Especially when you know that you are in the business of making quality products, and those people, whoever they are, don't pay your salary, your consumers do. In light of the fact that BlackRock and Vanguard exist, and they're in the business of forcing companies to adopt certain behaviors and changes and attitudes, companies are essentially given what amounts to a social credit score to grade how diverse and how woke you actually are. So then, if someone like Anita Sarkeesian or Sweet Baby is making it known to everybody, including BlackRock, that you guys are not as diverse as we want you to be, that means that certain financial pools will become limited to you. So essentially, they are simply holding these companies hostage.
And also, don't fall into this trap that I think a lot of people fall into, which is they think, okay, don't worry. We can include everyone by making this like single default universal experience that is universally representative. Because usually like all that means, as it did in the dating example, is that you're aiming at your core demographic and you're probably invisibly leaning towards the dominant societal voice, even if you don't realize it. And if you're in development and you are part of like that dominant voice, you're like a cis hetero white dude or just adjacent to that, do not wait until the end to call your consultants. Bring them in at the beginning, and instead of asking them, hey, is this very racist thing we did very racist? Or is this deeply offensive thing we did deeply offensive? Are you hurt by it? Ask them what they want to see. Like, ask them what would thrill them, what would bring them joy. And if you have a team lead, put that request to them very, very early.
Do you see, gods of Olympus? Do you need more proof than...
The problem with Sweet Baby Inc. is that they are a politically motivated company. To Sweet Baby Inc., if you are white and you happen to be straight, you are evil and you're part of the problem. You see, in a world that is ruled by Sweet Baby Inc., I guarantee you, products such as Ghost of Tsushima would not exist as they are today. I guarantee you, if Sweet Baby Inc. had worked on Ghost of Tsushima, someone, somehow, in the game would be black. For no reason. But they'll be black. There'll be no reason as to why they're black, but they'll be black for the hell of it. I can guarantee you that much.
He ain't lying.
Hi there, name? Jonathan. Ah, yes, Jonathan. Been expecting you this way. If you notice, you'll see here we have unlimited food, water, shelter, and we also have Joe. Who's Joe? Joe is a guy who said some shit sarcastically about Asian people when he was 11. Oh, the politician, yeah, the racist bigot who doesn't deserve the position of power he's in because of what he said when he was a kid. Yeah, I remember my tweet. Why is he here? Because Joe, unlike you, is actually a good person. Joe doesn't even remember what he said when he was 11, and if he did, he'd probably admit that what he said was wrong if you gave him the chance to. He is also, believe it or not, changed as a person since he was 11 and was completely different back then, like we all were, except for you. The only people who try to hold others to everything they've ever said and try to tear them down because of it are likely the people who have some up shit in their past. So, I did a little bit of digging into you. And wanna know what I found? Nothing. You have nothing better to do, and you have never had anything better to do. You pull people down because you can't lift yourself up, and now all the people you try to pull down are up here in heaven with you. Enjoy eternity. Fuck.
Give it back! This isn't right, that was ours!
Yeah, that brother's starving.
I mean, there are things like that that people catch that you may not have even known that you were putting in there, but
you
obviously...
are so right. Now take the Xmen. I was just originally trying to get an interesting group of characters with interesting powers, and I thought it would make it twice as interesting if the public really didn't like them that much. And if they had to worry about their reception by the outside world, little by little I began getting mail saying how great it is that I'm doing these stories about bigotry and the evils of bigotry and so forth, and race hatred. And I guess I was doing that, but I was doing it subconsciously. That wasn't the main purpose.
And when the X-Men enjoyed its reincarnation on film, there was a lot of talk about how this was really the story of homophobia.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
And that was not what wasn't part of the original blueprint.
No, it was the furthest thing from my mind.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah, so guys, the next time somebody tells you that the X-Men were always woke, they were progressive, they were an allegory for gay phobia or whatever trans nonsense they be telling you about, now you can look at them straight in their face and tell them that, guy,
why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
Why the you lying? Why you always lying? You can simply tell them that to their face, like, guy, man, miss me with that bull, man, miss me with that bull. Just because you can extrapolate certain ideologies from a product, that doesn't necessarily follow that that product was created to represent that ideology specifically. That could have been a byproduct, guy. It doesn't mean that that was the sole motivation for why the product was created. That's like me going to the Wachowski brothers and telling them that, guys, I was really moved by your movie, The Matrix, man. I like the Christian themes, you know, that were interlaced, you know, with Neo becoming the one, you know, obviously representing this Messiah, Jesus character. It's brought me to such a deeper level of my faith, you know? And they'll look at me like,
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
The Matrix is not a Christian movie. We never made it for Christians. The Matrix is not a Christian movie. It's just a cool sci-fi movie. It has nothing to do with Christianity or any of that stuff. And then I'll be like, yeah, but I'm sure you probably wrote it in such a genius way as to, you know, not make it too obvious.
What are you, fucking stupid?
WB is doubling down on live service games after Kill the Justice League. Are you freaking joking? So Warner Brothers was discussing the volatile AAA console games, and they're going to start leaning into mobile, free-to-play, and live service games.
Come on now, dawg. Come on, man.
They said rather just launching a one-and-done console game, how do we develop a game, for example, like Hogwarts Legacy or Harry Potter, that's a live service game?
Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea.
And they literally say where people can pay more money over time. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League was a complete financial disaster. In Hogwarts Legacy, a single-player game sold 22 million copies. How was this the freaking takeaway? Get this is so freaking irritating. He says, oh, this kind of success like Hogwarts Legacy is never guaranteed in this volatile market. And says, see, look, we had great success there and Suicide Squad was a disappointment. That's because one was a significantly better game than the other. If 2023 proved anything, is that people love single-player games. And we do not like live service games, especially in the superhero genre. I just literally cannot wrap my head around this.
You know what I find really dumb about the lesson that Warner Brothers is taking away from this? Back when they were releasing Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham Knight, Arkham Origins, Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor, back then the market was fine. The market wasn't volatile at all. But then fast forward a few years, they dropped Suicide Squad, Gotham Knights. Those projects flop, and their entire back catalog of movies is crashing and burning at the theaters. All of a sudden, guys, the market is too volatile. There is nothing volatile about the market. The market is still the same. Market still hasn't changed. Market still wants one and the same thing. Give us quality product. Give us quality storytelling. It's always been that way. And then you guys drop the ball twice, and then all of a sudden, the market is the problem. The market is volatile. That's just stupid, man. The simple reason as to why Warner Brothers is switching to live service is because they simply realize and acknowledge that they're not the same company that they were 10 years ago. They're no longer able to consistently release quality products that will garner them much love and affection as well as money. And not to mention that since Warner Brothers as a company is losing plenty of money from their movies as well as their video games, making AAA games is quite expensive. So they don't have the money to keep making these AAA video games. They don't have the money, they don't have the skill, they don't have the talent. So it simply makes sense as to why they would switch to something that is less costly, that will take less resources to make. It simply makes sense.
I can see what they're doing, what he's doing. I can see it, I feel it. He's cooking.
What I want to say about it, the princess. Cheers, Thatch. We're celebrating my retirement! On Cordless Man's breakfast!
Find your own way to St. Anne, chum sniffer. I don't owe you a sliver up your ass.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Skull and Bones looks way worse than the game that came out 11 years ago. Skull and Bones, a quadruple A game. Skull and Bones wants you to pay $70 upfront. Skull and Bones, also including microtransactions. Skull and Bones, Game of the Year.
Anybody that was excited for him playing Blade in the next Blade movie, well, don't get your hopes up, because the new story, the planned story for Blade, it's all gonna be about Blade getting replaced by his daughter.
What? Yeah. Man, look at, man, hell no.
That's a fact, guys. That's what this movie is about. That's why they are having to rewrite this movie over and over again. Look at this. Rumor, Marvel Studios to delay Blade for a fourth time to prevent Fantastic Four from competing with Superman Legacy. Of course, we all know that's all BS. The real reason why they're delaying this movie is because the actor, Mr. Ali here, he hates the direction that Marvel is going in, because pretty much they're hiring him just to replace him. He's gonna be replaced with his daughter in the movie. That's what the movie it's all about. It's set in the 30s. Blade is going to be training his daughter, and you know, I don't know what happens to Blade, but in the MCU in current times, it is Blade's daughter that is gonna be the MCU's Blade.
Ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
I was a child when you removed my genitals.
I saved you. I saw you once pick up a Barbie doll when you were 4.
No.
Yeah. Listen, you were trapped in the wrong body.
I was happy with my biological state.
This is your biological state. I remember the day I had you wear a dress and put on a wig. You were so happy. You even asked me what kind of dress it was, displaying a curiosity I had never seen before.
What is this crap?
That was the moment I realized you had the spirit of a strong, independent woman.
You're insane.
Hold on, I'm not finished. After I saw the evidence right in front of me, you said something that was like the icing on the cake.
Isn't this for girls? They wear something like this at my school. It's for them.
You were experimenting the different pronouns. How did you know about the pronouns, they, them?
I didn't know that!
Listen, only queer individuals use these pronouns, so I had to act on it. To cheer you up, you will be on the front lines, proudly yelling, "My choice, daughter."
I'm not your daughter. A real father wouldn't abuse his own son.
Did you just assume my gender?
Facts don't care about feelings.
I am your mother. And if you misgender anyone again, I'll cancel you faster than Joe Biden can sniff out a minor.
Oh man, but you know, he's right, man. I mean, that is the state of modern entertainment today. If it ain't pronouns, it's littered with garbage, man. Pronouns and nonsense and the gays. That's just entertainment today, guys. So, anyway, as usual, thank you, you awesome, fantastic people, for tuning in and for liking and subscribing and supporting my content, giving my life a bit of meaning. Remember, stay frosty and VWIW. Vote with your wallet.